Greetings, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at the Alabama State Department of Education Child Nutrition Programs for this training session with LINQ. We would like to welcome you all to the Claims for Reimbursement training for the Child and Adult Care Food Program, or CACFP, for centers. This training is specific for our Alabama CACFP sponsors. Here we have a list of topics that we will address during the training. Section 1 will define the purpose of edit checks. Section 2 will provide guidance for accessing the claims menu. Section 3 will review the process for completing and submitting a claim. Section 4 will supply information regarding the reimbursement rates for claims. Section 5 will address the payment summary. Section 6 will cover the monthly reimbursement summary for centers, and Section 7 will examine the components of a federal awards letter. If you look in the bottom left corner of the screen, you will see click here to access the LINQ CACFP Sponsor User Manual. Section 6 in this manual will review the claims process for the CACFP. Additionally, there will be slides within the presentation that will include actual page numbers from the manual. Much of the information in the presentation was obtained from LINQ's CACFP Sponsor User Manual, so please feel free to utilize this manual as a resource. So now that we've reviewed the purpose of this presentation, let's get started with Section 1. Section 1 will introduce and explain the concept of edit checks. Let's explore the meaning of an edit check. Edit checks are resourceful tools that will help to ensure the effectiveness and proficiency of data completion and collection. The goal of performing an edit check is to identify any human or technical error prior to submitting the data to ALSDE for review. Edit checks can also increase the quality of data as well as improve program performance for CACFP. Now you may be asking yourself, who will do these so-called edit checks? Well, any authorized individual that has been approved to access your CACFP records and documents can perform edit checks. Please ensure that this individual has been thoroughly trained on the required CACFP training topics. If you need to know what these topics are, you can refer to your site application in the LINQ online system under mandatory training topics, or you can contact your assigned education specialist. We have discussed what edit checks are and who can perform them, so now let's discuss how you can use them to enhance your CACFP operation. You can use edit checks to do the following: to ensure all CACFP records are completed in a timely manner, to locate any human or technical errors on documents, to determine if records align with the meal services provided, to review operational and administrative reports, and most importantly, to validate that your program operation is in compliance with CACFP requirements and USDA regulations, especially concerning VCA, which is financial viability, administrative capability, and program accountability. This slide provides you with a snapshot on how edit checks can help improve CACFP record-keeping performance. First off, we have the 5 P's. Proper planning prevents poor performance. When you sit down with your CACFP team to plan and strategize, you begin to develop great ideas and techniques that will help your CACFP operate like a smooth machine. You plan for emergencies. You plan for staff absences. You plan for shortages. You plan for technical difficulties. You plan for viruses and outbreaks. You plan for increases and even decreases in enrollment. You plan for possible accidents. You plan for weaknesses and deficits and successes and celebrations. You plan for your records getting wet or even someone stealing your records. You plan for meal substitutions. You have processes and procedures in place to address any and all possible occurrences that can take place within your organization. Moving down to daily review. Try to incorporate this concept of edit checks as a common practice for you and your staff. Reviewing records daily will help to ensure accuracy and completion. It also gives you the opportunity to identify errors immediately. A best practice is to refrain from waiting until the end of the week or the end of the month to reconcile your CACFP records. Have checks and balances in place for each day to maintain the integrity of your operation. Pull your attendance records, the meal counts, sign in sign out sheets to verify that your information is accurate. For example, if you only have 37 participants signed in at your center on October 18, 2024, then you should not have 45 participants receiving a meal during lunch. Either the meal count is off, participants were not signed in, or someone intentionally inflated numbers. Whatever the reason, edit checks will allow you and your trained CACFP staff to catch this error, and you have the opportunity to correct the data before claim submission. Lastly, let's take a look at this next bullet, having two sets of eyes. As previously stated, try to have CACFP trained staff available to assist with CACFP record keeping. We often hear that mainly one person performs all CACFP duties and responsibilities, but what if this person is absent? What if this person has an emergency and can't come to the center? Take time to thoroughly train reliable staff members to assist with CACFP record keeping. And please just don't say, look at these papers and let me know if it's right. Instead, give the staff objectives for reviewing the records. Show them how to successfully reconcile the data with different CACFP documents. Let them watch you compare your records to demonstrate accurate claiming for CACFP. Be upfront and honest. Let them know what can happen if errors are located in the claim submission or during a site visit or even during an administrative review. Inform the staff that you are not just trying to give them extra duties, but you are relying on them as a means to put a safeguard in place to help minimize human and technical error. Slide 6 provides you with a snapshot on how edit checks can help improve your CACFP online performance. For step 1, use your CACFP records after you've completed the edit checks to complete your online claim. Always make sure you have all of your CACFP records readily available during this process. For step 2, go back and check the numbers that you've inserted into the online system. Anyone can make a key error. You meant to type the number 1000, but instead you typed the number 100. As you can see, there is a huge difference between these numbers. And that also means that you have shorted yourself 900 meals. I'm sure that will make a big difference when it comes to reimbursement. In the regulations, you have a certain number of days to catch this error and make an upward revision. This is why it's important to review the numbers you insert. Finally, we are ready to submit the claim on step 3. When you submit the claim, you are guaranteeing and certifying that the information on the claim is true and accurate. This should always be the case, especially if you conduct regular edit checks for your CACFP operation. On the screen before you, you will see the ultimate values of performing edit checks with your record-keeping documents. Completion. The records need to be completed daily by a CACFP trained staff member. Remember, edit checks are a resourceful tool to utilize. Accuracy. Look for errors intentionally. Try to locate any and all mistakes on the records. You want to be precise while you evaluate and examine your CACFP documents. Reasonable. Ask yourself, does my data reflect the true CACFP operation at my center? Am I using good sound judgment during my CACFP decision making? Quality. While compiling your data, always measure the records against the actual meal service. Set a standard of excellence for your center when it comes to record production. Integrity. Don't inflate, don't dilate, don't elevate. Let the records you compile be representative of the CACFP operation that took place at your center. Federal funds are being utilized as a supplement to help enhance nutrition and to promote healthy meals. So we want to ensure that we avoid fraudulent activity and intentional deceit. Develop strong morals and principles when it comes to your CACFP operation. And finally, validity. The claims for reimbursement should have supporting documentation, which would be your CACFP records. The CACFP records should be able to justify the claim submission. Make sure your records remain authentic at all times. Well, that wraps up our review on edit checks. The goal is to make this a part of your vocabulary and performance duties moving forward if you are not already doing so. If you need additional guidance on edit check strategies, please contact us here at the ALSDE. We have just completed Section 1 for edit checks, so let's now move into Section 2. We will learn how to navigate through the system to access the claim menu. If you would like to have your records with you while we review inserting information into the claims menu, pause the presentation now and grab your records which are listed at the top of the screen. We have the monthly meal count, attendance records, monthly general journal, and the monthly summary. When you are ready to begin, insert your login ID and password and click the green tab that reads Log On. In the bottom right corner of the screen, you will see the reference page number from the LINQ CACFP Sponsor User Manual. Remember, as we work our way through the claims menu, please save every 5 to 10 minutes so you will not lose your data. This next slide will work differently for certain sponsors. We have sponsors that operate multiple programs, and then we have sponsors that operate only one program. If you operate only one program, you will not be directed to this programs page. Instead, you will be taken immediately to the splash page. However, if a sponsor operates multiple programs, the sponsor will be taken here, which is the program page that you see before you, and all of the sponsors' enrolled programs will display. The sponsor will click on the program for which they wish to access, which is the Child and Adult Care Food Program, and then you will be taken to the splash page. The splash page will display general information, updates, and announcements posted by the ALSDE Child Nutrition Programs. Look towards the top of the splash page and you will see the header menu bar, which is dark blue. The header menu houses all of your menu options: the applications menu, claims menu, compliance menu, reports menu, security menu, and the search menu. What you see on your header menu will depend on the type of permissions that you have. Every sponsor might not have the same options, so there's no need to panic. Your LINQ online portal has been designed specifically for you and your operation. There is just one more tip that I would like to share with you before we get started. It will be helpful to print your site application for your site or sites, as well as your budget detail before you begin completing your claim. At the top of the screen, click the Applications menu link. So this is your home page for the Applications menu. We are going to select Application Packet for Centers. We are currently on the Application Packet homepage, so let's go to the Sponsor Budget detail and print out the application. Click View to access the application. Do not click Revise, as that will suggest that you would like to make changes to your application. Once the budget application opens, you can print the information on the screen. I haven't included all of the information on the slide, but you will need to print the entire document. Set this to the side and do the same for the site applications. So let's go back to the application packet home screen. From the application packet home screen, locate Site Application at the bottom of the screen and click there. On the screen, you see the list of my sites that I have in my program. Select the site you wish to access. Print all of the site applications for the approved centers that participated in the CACFP during that month. For my program, I only have one approved site, so I will click on View to access the application. Remember, you will only click Revise if you need to make changes to the application. So this is just a snippet of my site application, but you will need to print pages all the way up to your approved meal services. Once you print this document, put it with your budget detail and your other CACFP records. These documents can be used while you insert information into the Claims Entry menu. Now, at the top of the screen, you can select the Claims menu tab from your blue header menu bar. Our primary focus today will be on claims. Under this tab to the left, you will see the following items: Claim Entry Centers, Claim Entry DCH for family daycare homes, Claim Rates for centers, Claim Rates for DCH, which is family daycare homes, Payment Summary, Monthly Reimbursement Summary for centers, Monthly Reimbursement Centers for DCH, and the Federal Awards Letter. To the right, you will see the descriptions for each item. We're going to take a look at claim entries for centers first, so click here and let's begin. Moving into section 3, we're going to cover the site level claim entry, meaning that your data that we're going to be inserting is for each approved site in your organization, much like we did in the previous system. As a reminder, always remember to check your program year in the top right corner of the screen. The claim year summary page is broken down into 6 categories. You have the claim month, which are the months approved for operation, the adjustment number, which is the number of revisions made to the claims within a certain month. You have the claim status, which provides updates on the claim submissions. Date received, it records the date the claim was received by the ALSDE. Date processed, provides the date ALSDE reviewed and processed the claim. And then we have earned amount. It reports the amount of reimbursement for the approved claim. Now, as you can see, there are 2 hyperlinked months that I can access. We will be working in October 2024. So I'm going to click there. Verify that we have selected the correct claim month. And then we're going to choose Add Original Claim to begin inserting information into the system. Here, we can see that we have accessed the claim site list. which provides additional information in 6 categories. Actions. If you can insert data into the claim and if it is ready for you, you will see the word add. Site number. The site's ID number should be represented in this section. Site name. Verify the name of the site here. Type. You will either see CC for child care or AC for adult care. Error. The number of errors within the claim will be reported here. And status. It provides an update on the site's submission. Under site number and name, you can see that I have 2 sites listed, but I can only insert data for one. Why, you may ask? Well, one of the sites is not eligible for claim submission. Maybe there's an issue with the site application, or maybe that site is not approved to operate for that month of October. Maybe the site will begin CACFP in January of 2025. So let's move on down to upload claim data. You will only need to upload your CACFP documents if you need to make a revision to your submitted claim. You will need to upload these documents to support the changes that you are making to your revised claim. But if this is your original claim, if this is your first time submitting the claim for the month, you will not need to upload documents. Documents are only uploaded if revisions need to be made. On page 58 in the LINQ manual, guidance informs us that the documents will need to be uploaded as a text file. So on the next slide, I will provide a review of what a text file is. An internet search was conducted to provide you with additional information on text files. Please feel free to conduct your own research on text files if you need additional guidance. The search conducted explains that a text file is a standard text document that contains plain text without any formatting. A common tool used is Microsoft Notepad and Apple Text Edit. We understand that this method is not suitable for our CACFP records. We have contacted LINQ regarding this matter, and this will be a future enhancement for our online operators. So moving back to the site claim list screen, let's click Add to open up the claim. Welcome to the site claim report. Let's take a look at the attendance reporting first. Question 1 requires the total days of operation for the site. Here, you can use your site application that you printed earlier to get that number. On the site application, look under the Schedule section to get the actual operation date. Question 2 is asking for total attendance. To get this number, multiply the total enrollment number for the month times the total operation days. And if you need to pause at any time, please feel free to do so. For question 2, you can use your attendance record or monthly summary to get the enrollment for the month. The average daily of attendance on question 3 will automatically populate once you insert question 1 and 2. On question 4, the license capacity will pull from the site's application's license information section. Question 5 will pull from the site application's schedule section for meal services. Remember, you will need ALSDE approval for shifts. So now you see why I had you to print the site application. You're going to need this document to verify information on the claim. So now let's move down to the next section. Number of enrolled participants in each reimbursement category. You can use your monthly summary or the site application for this section. Question 6 wants you to report the number of free participants. The number of reduced participants should be reported on question 7. And question 8 is asking for the number of paid participants. And question 9 will automatically update for the total enrollment number. If you want to use your monthly summary, just refer to the participation section for free, reduced, and paid. If you are using your site application, you can refer to the site information section in that application. One more section to review on the screen. This section is for for-profit centers only. Question 10 will populate automatically based on the data that you inserted in the previous section. You will report the number of subsidized children enrolled at your site on question 11. Moving on down to the next part of the claim is the section for child meals snacks served. As you can see, I have only been approved for breakfast, lunch, and PM snack, and those are the only active cells in which I can insert information. The other cells have been deactivated. For questions 12 through 17, you can use your required daily record along with the monthly meal count for 3 meals, or you can use the daily attendance and meal count record for 4 meals and input your data into this section. These numbers should be accurate since you performed your edit checks, right? Once you insert your numbers for the free, reduced, and paid meal service, the total numbers for A, B, and C will populate to the right of the screen. Remember, anyone can make an input error. Please go back through your data to ensure that you have entered the numbers you intended to enter. This is also an edit check strategy that we would like for you to make a common practice. After your edit check, verify the information. You can click Save at the bottom of the screen. Once you click Save, you will be taken back to the Claim Site List screen. Instead of seeing Add by the site name, you will now see View, Modify. I want to call your attention to the right of the screen. Under Status, it reads Validated. I have no errors, so I am ready to move forward to the next screen by clicking Continue at the bottom of the screen. However, if there were errors present for the data that I just inserted, then the number of errors would have appeared under the error category. Before the claim can be approved, all errors need to be addressed. Since there are no errors present, let's move forward to the next slide. Here we will take a look at the claim cost details, which focuses on the center's monthly budget. Remember, we printed our approved budget from the application, so now we can use it to insert and compare our monetary entries. We will also need our monthly general journal or other financial record keeping documents that you currently utilize with your CACFP records. There are 4 primary columns on this page. We have operating expenses, which list the name of each cost for the reported budget. There's current month's cost, and this will include the cost incurred for the current reporting month. You have year-to-date cost. This will add up each month's cost and provide the total cost in which your center has utilized for the year. And then there's annual budget amount. This will display the total amount that you have been approved to utilize for the fiscal year. This number is pulled from the budget details on the sponsor application packet. Let's look at the annual budget amount. Use your printed budget details page to ensure that your numbers on the application reflect the numbers that are reported on the claims cost details page. If you see any discrepancies, please contact ALSDE. If the numbers match, let's continue. Move to the operating expenses category. If you have been approved for operating labor cost on question 1, that cost will be reported under the current month's cost category, which is the second column. Please ensure that you have conducted your edit checks prior to inserting data into the system. Review the time cards, the approved rate of pay per hour, the total CACFP hours worked for duties and responsibilities, etc. If you have not been approved for labor, let's move to question 2. Question 2 deals with food expenses. This is where you will need to utilize your monthly general journal, and this document should already be completed. Your food expenses will be reported on question 2. If I move to the right of the screen, I can see that I have been approved to use $50,000 of CACFP funds for food purchases. I like this feature here because it helps me to keep track of how much funds I'm spending compared to what I have been approved to use for the entire year. Question 3, facilities and space. If you have been approved for cost allocations that include rent or mortgage, then you will insert that monthly amount here in this cell. Question 4 is for supplies and equipment. You will report your non-food expenses here in the supplies section. So if you used any CACFP funds for non-food supplies, they will be reported here on question 4. Only report equipment expenses if it has been approved by ALSDE. Question 5. Purchased services. Please ensure that ALSDE has a contract on file if you are utilizing purchased services. Question 6. Report any financial cost. Question 7 is for your media cost if you have any. If you contracted with an organization for your meal services, report that cost here on question 8. If you sponsor an organization that does not legally belong to your business, that cost should be reported here on question 9 for the unaffiliated facility. Questions 10 and 11 are marked for other expenses. Before we move to the next slide, make sure you review your data to ensure there are no key errors. Let's do our edit checks. The last part of the claim cost details is the administrative expenses. As previously stated, if you have been approved for labor cost on question 1, that cost will be reported under the current month's cost category, which is the second column. Please ensure that you have conducted your edit checks prior to inserting data into the system. Again, as I previously mentioned, review the time cards, approve rate of pay, duties and responsibilities, total hours worked, etc. Question 2, facilities and space. If you have been approved for cost allocations that include rent or mortgage, then you will insert that monthly amount here. Question 3 is for supplies and equipment. Question 4, purchase services. If you have been approved for bank charges, record that monthly fee here on question 5. Again, you will know if you have been approved for these costs if you see them listed under the annual budget amount. If you see $0 inserted for the item, then you have not been approved to insert an amount into this item. Contact ALSDE if you would like to revise your budget to determine if you can be approved for a specific item. Moving on to question 6, audit expenses. List any audit expenses that have incurred for the current month of your CACFP operation. Report media cost on question 7 if you have any. If you contracted with an organization for your meal services, report that cost here on question 8. If you sponsor an organization that does not legally belong to your business, that cost should be reported here on question 9 for the unaffiliated facility. Question 10 is marked for other expenditures that you would like to report that's not listed above. Now, before we move to the next slide, please make sure you review your data to ensure there are no input errors. Once you are done with your review, click Save and Validate at the bottom of the screen to access the next page. The third section of the claim report is the verification page. Under Child Care Center, you will see the finalized report of the meals served to participants. The meals have been broken down into the free, reduced, and paid categories for breakfast, lunch, and PM snack. The numbers reported here should match the data from your CACFP record-keeping documents. Once the report has been reviewed, read the certification statement and then click the checkbox stating that you have indeed read the certification statements. Click Submit for Payment at the bottom of the page to complete your claim report. If everything is sufficient from your claims report, you will receive confirmation from the submission. That confirmation will be sent to your email address that we have on file in LINQ's operating system. If you choose to make changes to the finalized claim, there is an option at the bottom for you to modify the claim. If you are done, click Finished. Once you click Finished, you will be taken back to the Claim Year Summary page. As you can see, my claim status, submission date, and earned amount have all been updated based on the information that was just inserted into the system. If you have more sites to insert data for, click on the month of October 2024, select Add by the desired site, and then begin uploading the data into the claims report. During this part of the presentation, I want to address errors within the claims report. This time, I will click on November 2024 because under claim status, I see that I have an error. So once I click November 2024, this screen populates. In order to address the reported errors that I see under status, I need to select Modify, and Modify will allow me to make the necessary changes. On the claim site list page, we can actually see the error description reported here, and it says the total claim expense must be greater than 0. So if I click continue, I will be taken to the actual page that contains the error. Clicking modify will just take me back to the beginning of the claims report, but I want to go straight to my error, so I'm going to select continue at the bottom of the screen. So let's examine this page. This looks like it's my claim cost details page, and I see immediately what my error is. I neglected to include my food expenditures for the month. I reported food expenses for the previous month, which was October, but I didn't include the cost for the current month of November. Now, if I look under the year-to-date column, I can see that last month I spent $5,100 on food, and I have been approved to use $50,000 for the entire year. I love how LINQ has collected that data right there for us to utilize. So, to correct my error, all I will need to do is insert my food costs for the month of November. So once I insert my food costs, I will click Save and Validate at the bottom of the page. Once again, on the third page of the claim, they will show all the meals that have been provided for free, reduced, and paid for the breakfast, lunch, and snack meal services. And then there is that certification statement once again. Remember, check that certification box. Now, once you check that box, click Submit for Payment at the bottom of the page. Now it looks like everything checks out because I have received a confirmation, and that confirmation will be sent to my email address. So we are done. I am going to click Finish at the bottom of the screen. And once we click Finish, we will be redirected back to the Claim Year Summary Report page. Now, my errors have been cleared and both months have been accepted. I can see my earnings to the right of the screen under Earned Amount. Now, I have one more thing that I would like to show you before we leave this section. Click on October 2024 for me. Once you click October, you will be taken back to your claim month details page. So we're going to choose Summary this time. So now this page is called the Claim for Reimbursement Summary. And this page generates an overall report that includes approved meal services, total number of meals served for the breakfast, lunch, and PM snack for the free, reduced, and paid participants. It includes the current federal reimbursement rates, the cash in lieu, and the amount of reimbursement that was received. This page will definitely help you to understand your approved reimbursement amount. Towards the bottom of the summary page, you will find the reimbursement type section. CFDA stands for Catalog of Federal Domestic Assistance. You may also see ALN, which stands for Assistance Listing Numbers. Federal programs that provide assistance to the American public are identified by specific codes, and the code for CACFP is 10.558. FAIN stands for Federal Award Identification Number, and this number has been uniquely assigned for each financial assistance awarded to agencies and organizations. So let's go to sponsor claim reimbursement totals. You can view the total amount received for meals and the amount received for the cash in lieu in this section. At the bottom of the page, you will see a hyperlink that says Show Site Details. Click there. In this section, the data will display for each particular site. I have only one site listed because I have only been approved to operate just one site. So this is another area that you can refer to compare your data. We have completed our review of Section 3, so now let's move into Section 4. Section 4 involves the reimbursement rates for meals. In the header menu bar at the top of the page, let's click on Claims and then click Claim Rates Centers. Claim rates should display on this page. For each meal service that we offer for the CACFP, you can see the meal reimbursement rate provided for the free, reduced, and paid participants. The cash in lieu is even listed for you. These rates are effective July through June, and they are published annually by the USDA and updated in the online system by the ALSDE. Sponsors are not permitted to make changes to this page. Click Back or the Claims tab menu. Section 4 was really quick, huh? Simple and easy. Back on our claims homepage, let's go explore Section 5, which is Payment Summary. After you click on Payment Summary, the Payment Summary List page should appear. This information will only be available once your submitted claim has been accepted and processed by our ALSDE accounting team. You will click on the schedule number to access the information. For demonstration purposes only, I have selected a prior fiscal year to provide a closer look into the payment summary details. On this summary detail, we have meals broken down for child and adult meals, child and adult cash in lieu. We see adult meals listed here because in 2023-2024, I had adult care centers in my program. I don't know about you, but I think LINQ has done an excellent job with separating the meals based on meal type, IEF code, and facility. After you complete your review of the data, you can move back into your claims homepage. So click Claims in your header bar. We have made it to section 6. Now, this last part of the presentation seems to be moving rather quickly, but no complaints, right? Next, we can go visit the monthly reimbursement summary for centers. So click there and let's get started. After you've clicked the monthly reimbursement summary for centers, you will be directed to the information page. On the chart, you should see the following columns: claim date, program, revision number, meals, cash in lieu, total, pay list date, pay list number. We want to look at more information, so I'm going to select October 2024 at this time. For each month reported, approved, and processed, you will have access to your claim reports. We actually looked at this page in the Claims tab. Remember? We clicked on Summary after we finished our report, and we took a look at this page. We even clicked Show Site Meal Details at the bottom of the screen. I only had one site because I've only been approved for one site. As you can see, data is all around you in this LINQ system. So let's use our resources to become stronger with our CACFP operation. You can click back at the bottom of the screen, or you can click Claims in the header menu bar at the top of the page. Well, that completed our tour of Section 6, and here we are back at our claims homepage. And welcome to the last section of the presentation, Section 7. This section is fairly simple as well. We would like to show you where the federal awards letter is housed. So from your claims homepage, click on Federal Awards Letter. On the screen before you, you should see an example of an award letter. My organization's information is listed in the top left corner of the letter. I wanted to show this document to you because we've referenced it while we were in the Claims Entry tab. We have reached the end of this presentation. I thank you for your attention as we navigated our way through the claims reporting menu. If you have any questions or comments related to this presentation, please contact us here at the Alabama State Department of Education. Thank you.